You'd think telling someone no in writing would be enough, especially when it comes to a private boat that I own, docked at a marina I pay for, insured under my name, and clearly outside the HOA's jurisdiction. But Karen, our local self-declared queen of regulation, must have mistaken private property for community property. It started, of course, with one of her classic guilt trip emails. We're looking for a unique venue for our monthly HOA mixer, and your boat would be perfect. It's practically a community landmark. I replied within 10 minutes, absolutely not. I didn't mince words. I even cited liability issues, marina policy, and reminded her that I didn't give permission. I figured that would be the end of it. It wasn't. A few days later, I had to fly out of town for a family funeral. Before leaving, I checked everything on the boat, locked the cabin, disabled the ignition, and double-secured the dock lines. I'd recently installed a Ring camera at the dock, linked to my phone, just in case. The just in case came around 8:47 p.m. on a Saturday. I got a motion alert. Figures. Someone was boarding my boat, in the dark. I opened the live feed and couldn't believe it. Karen was in full party mode, wine glass in hand, dragging a cooler behind her. She was followed by 3 HOA board members in golf polos and boat shoes, carrying plastic cups and a speaker system. One of them even waved directly at the camera like it was a photo op. I called my neighbor immediately. He was listed as my emergency contact at the marina. After a few awkward pauses, he admitted Karen had stopped by earlier, saying I told her to grab the boat key from him for a planned event. He said she seemed so confident he didn't want to question her. I sat back staring at my screen, trying to suppress the nuclear-grade rage building inside me. I rewatched the clip 3 times, especially the part where Karen declared, "He'll get over it. It's not like we're damaging anything." Spoiler, they were about to damage a lot, mostly their reputations. And I was about to let the sea handle the rest. I could have called the marina staff or the police right then. But honestly, that felt too easy. Too clean. These weren't just clueless neighbors. They were smug, arrogant people who thought consequences were for other people. Karen had lied, manipulated my neighbor, and illegally boarded my boat. That wasn't a misunderstanding. That was premeditated trespass. So instead of stopping them, I got to work. First, I reviewed my boat's app. Yes, my boat has its own app. It's 2025. The motor was disabled remotely, and I kept it that way. But the dock ropes? I had them installed with a Wi-Fi-enabled motorized release system just last year, in case I ever needed to depart without stepping onto the dock. One tap and the lines could loosen automatically. And then I remembered the tide schedule. Tonight was the perfect combo: light offshore breeze, outgoing tide, and just enough current to nudge the boat gently away from the marina if it wasn't tethered. I grabbed a drink, sat back in my hotel room, and watched the dock cam. Karen was now giving a tour of the bridge like she bought the thing herself. One board member was dancing, another was peeing over the side like it was a frat party. I opened the boat control app and clicked release lines. The boat gently drifted. At first, no one noticed. Karen was too busy trying to go live on Instagram, mumbling something about exclusive HOA yacht night. But within minutes, you could see it on their faces. The background started shifting. The dock was slipping away. The lights on the pier grew smaller. Karen finally dropped her phone. She ran to the back. "Why are we moving?" One guy tried the ignition. Dead. Another stumbled around looking for a paddle like this was a canoe. Someone actually shouted, "Who's driving this thing?" Nobody. Not them. Not anymore. I opened my Coast Guard app and made a formal report. Vessel may have been taken without permission. Last seen drifting east of marina. I am the owner. I uploaded my Ring footage and copies of the text where I clearly denied use. I wasn't trapping them, I was documenting a crime and letting gravity and saltwater handle the rest. By the time the boat had drifted a good half-mile from the dock, panic had replaced the Chardonnay buzz. Karen was pacing the deck like a squirrel on Adderall, waving her phone around trying to get a signal. The live stream had cut out the moment they floated past the marina's Wi-Fi bubble, leaving her audience with one blurry frame of a board member stuffing shrimp cocktail into his pockets. They weren't boaters. They were suburban control freaks who thought Starboard was a brand of yoga mat. The Ring cam lost visibility, but I still had GPS from the boat's tracking beacon. It showed a sad little dot slowly spinning in the open water, just drifting with the current. I checked the marine weather forecast: no storms, calm seas, and a very long night ahead. Perfect. Inside the HOA group chat, which a former board member had secretly forwarded to me months ago, the drama exploded. Boat just floated off. Anyone know how to work this thing? Wait, you didn't get his permission? Karen said he was fine with it. He'll understand. We're representing the community. We're stranded, Karen. I couldn't stop laughing. They weren't in danger, not yet. But they were 100% helpless. And every second out there was a perfectly legal reinforcement of just how badly they'd screwed up. Then the Coast Guard called me. Sir, we got your report. We're dispatching a unit to locate the vessel. Are you in immediate danger? Nope, I said. I'm watching the location from here. They boarded without my consent. All actions are documented. Happy to email you the footage. They thanked me and said they'd follow up once contact was made. An hour later, the GPS showed the boat had stalled in a lazy circle. Probably someone tried to anchor it, someone who thought an anchor worked like a parking brake. Back in the HOA chat, Karen was begging people not to call the police so we don't make this worse. Too late. Phones were dying. The wine was gone. And apparently so was Karen's leadership credibility. They wanted a party. They got a maritime lesson. The Coast Guard finally intercepted the boat around 3 a.m., roughly 7 miles offshore. According to the officer's later report, Karen was crying, Greg had vomited over the starboard side, and one board member was curled under a beach towel muttering about jellyfish conspiracies. No injuries, no hypothermia, just bruised egos and serious embarrassment. I got a call at 6 a.m. from the responding officer. Sir, we've secured your vessel. I'd like to confirm again, you never gave them permission. I have text messages, ring footage, and a witness who confirms they manipulated their way onto it. Want me to email everything now or later? There was a pause, then a faint chuckle. Now is fine. Later that day, I got a follow-up. The Coast Guard had documented it as unauthorized use of a vessel, a federal offense. While they didn't press criminal charges, they passed everything to local law enforcement and my insurance company. Because the idiots managed to scratch the hull trying to drop anchor. Karen, of course, tried to flip the narrative. She summoned an emergency HOA board meeting to clarify misunderstandings and claimed I had orchestrated the whole thing as some sort of trap. Unfortunately for her, the neighbor she tricked into handing over my key testified to the truth. And every member saw the footage of her grinning at the camera while boarding. She was removed from her position as HOA president in a 6-1 vote that same night. Greg abstained, probably still seasick. Legally, I had options. I could have sued for trespassing, maritime violations, even emotional distress if I wanted to go full Karen myself. Instead, I billed the HOA directly for the hull repair and cleaning fees, itemized, with photo evidence. When they pushed back, I had my attorney send a formal demand letter. Payment arrived 2 days later. Then I did the most satisfying thing of all. I sent a calm, professional email to the entire HOA mailing list titled, Friendly Reminder, Respecting Private Property. It contained 3 bullet points. My boat is not a rental. Lying to neighbors for access is still trespassing. Next time, there won't be a soft tide. No replies. Just silence. The end.